Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Jodo Cast, your Star Wars gaming podcast. This is episode 77. I feel like we should have done something special for 77, but we didn't. But we do have Leo Andry.
Hi.
Hi. And Joe Latovsky.
Yo.
Back again, Joe.
Yeah.
Yay. Insert Eminem music, maybe.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay.
I feel like more like cue like a half-hearted like round of applause from like a dive bar audience where they're like
like on karaoke night and
right.
no one's really into it. All right. Well, we appreciate both of you being here, but even more than you two, we appreciate all of our patrons over at patreon.com/thejodocast. Still the reigning, defending best people on the face of the earth. And we should point out that some of our patron reward levels have changed a little bit, but we are no less thankful to everyone. If you want details about that and you're an existing patron, feel free to contact us. But for new folks, come check it out. It's I think it's a great deal. I think I don't know. I think the value is sky high.
I'm waiting for Evan to be like, wait, but there's more.
I peek at other people's Patreons now and then, like more successful ones, to see, you know, where we stack up. And honestly, I think our rewards are like the best that I've seen.
Yeah, well, those more successful guys probably have more successful content than we do. So
Hey. I am very proud of each and every one of you. We have a huge team, only the best team here.
Everyone's a very great guy here.
You might have to hire new writers. You might not know that all of these are actually scripted. Even what I'm saying right now is actually I'm reading off a page in front of me.
Don't tell them. That's the secret
I've
sauce.
ruined the magic.
Ugh. But if you do want more information on what Patreon is and what we do and how we say thank you to you for what you do for us, patreon.com/thejodocast. You can also find a link to it over at our website, jodocast.com, at which you can also find links to all of our social media. Most especially, we want to show you to our Discord server where we hang out all day, every day with fantastic people just like you. And we talk about Star Wars stuff, non-Star Wars stuff, gaming stuff, non-gaming stuff. It's just all of the things all of the time. Also, at our website, there's a feedback survey right at the top where you can tell us what you love, what you hate, and we do read it. We take it to heart, and, we want you to help shape the future. You are the future of the JodoCast. And now, let's talk about what we've been playing. We usually start with Joe. I want to hear what Leo's been doing first.
So, this may come as a shock to some people, but I played Legion. I know
Holy crap.
About it. I know we haven't talked about it much lately.
Except for half of the RPG discussion episode from last time. Just half.
But yeah, we had our first league match the other night. Got another league match coming up again tonight.
And you won? Tonight?
Or tomorrow night. Tomorrow
night. Okay.
Sorry. Yes. Oh man,
like,
my first one. I pretty much destroyed my opponent. I felt a little bad because he had no experience with the game and also did not have a very good list, frankly. And I also killed his army's Luke on turn 1 in my second attack against him.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So his Luke did nothing. Well, he did one deflect damage back at one of my ATRTs, but other than that, nothing.
Wow. Okay. So everyone else is on notice. Look out for Leo. He knows the rules. That's all you need.
Yeah. On tomorrow's game, I'm actually playing against one of our listeners who happens to also shop at my local store. So
that pretty much it for you?
Yeah. I've been giving some thoughts into what I'm gonna play for Destiny at Worlds, but I've been so busy with Legion, I haven't got a chance to try play testing anything. So I'm probably going to end up going to Worlds woefully unprepared, but ready to have some fun.
I mean, just run Vader Raider. That's still a thing, right?
I mean, it could be a thing. No one would expect it. That's for sure.
That's right. You're bringing it back, retro, as of last year. Okay, Joe, what you been up to?
I got in a couple games of the LCG.
Good for you.
Because I needed to play it, but I also wanted to finally get it out of my system playing a deck with 2 copies of each IG-88 pod and 2 copies of Dengar. Because I really wanted to try and get all 4 copies of IG-88 out at the same time, because they are distinct things, since it's like IG-88, B, C, D, so you can have all of them out at once. That didn't happen, but it was still fun to try. And then I got in some Legion, because we have a league that's starting, and our first league game, I think it's because a lot of people still don't have much beyond the core, was 500 points, but now the next one will be 800, and then I'll be 800 after that. I lost real bad in my first game, because it was apparently the cool kids on the internet are calling this football now, where the deployments are the long march, where it starts you both on the short ends of the table, so the 3-foot ends of the table, and the objective is breakthrough, which are where you need to get your unit leaders into the other person's deployment zone. So you've got a lot of ground to cover.
I mean, it
makes sense why they call it football.
Yeah, I mean, it's football field shaped board, and you got to get to the end zone. So it works.
But that was the mission, and one of our pieces of terrain was this big bridge that covered maybe 2/3 of the table the short way across. Basically, the boundary to his deployment zone was this big, long bridge that you could stand your troops on. And he had all 4 of his stormtrooper squads just sitting on that bridge. And I was like, well, I got to get to his deployment zone, so I got to try and push up. But they all had DLT-19s, and which could hit me at range 4. I had no cover in range 3, so it was real hard to get close. I got kind of just slowly picked apart.
Yeah, and from your pictures, it looked like the walls on the bridge were tall enough to where it probably gave his guys cover too, standing on the bridge.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, they all stood on the bridge. Darth Vader just slowly started walking out towards all my guys. It was fun, but I didn't do well. But that's okay.
Guess you should have sat back also and been like, no, you come at me, bro.
Right? I mean, that was the thing. It was like, he's like, well, this isn't particularly helping me win either. I'm like, yeah. Although when it comes down to it, you're going to win on the points destroyed or whatever the tiebreaker is. But, because at the end, nobody did actually end up completing any of the objectives. Vader was like most of the way there, because Vader was just kind of strolling down the middle the whole time, and he had dodge tokens all the time, and I couldn't do much to him. But this week, I'm playing against Dan, one of our listeners and amazing patrons, and we'll see how that goes. Because this league we have 10 Rebel players and 10 Imperial players in this league, and you're only ever matched against the other side, which is fun. I really like that, because I think it's more fun when you don't have mirror matches, and as far as I can tell, most of the uber tryhards are on the Rebel side, which means I won't have to play against them.
Yeah, my match last week was a mirror match, and it's going to be a mirror match this week too. So this week we're gonna see whose Z6 swarm can reign supreme, mine or Jake's.
Yeah, maybe that's better, because that definitely what made me lose the game was the range 4 and the DLTs. Like, that was literally it, because I could not get close enough to him to do anything before I got just chipped away by those long-range guns.
So, yeah, I was talking to Jake, and it sounds like the only difference in our list is he is going to be running 2 ATRTs and 6 squads of troopers, and I'm running 5 squads of troopers with 3 ATRTs.
What guns are you using on the ATRTs? Because for fun, and because I like the way I painted it, I tried to use the flamethrower, which, when I try and rush his bridge full of guys to burn them all, just ends up dying.
Yeah.
Actually, Vader killed it in like one attack. And then the rotary cannon, I was running into the same issues all my troopers were having with being just slightly out of range because he had the range advantage. So it made me really want to use the laser cannon so I could have a range 4 weapon.
Yeah, I think when I ran it last week, I had 2 laser cannons and 1 rotary. I'm trying to decide if I want to change it up because I know Jake is going to be so infantry heavy. He's only going to have the 2 ATRTs, so I'm trying to decide, do I want to go 1 laser and 2 rotaries, or do I maybe want to try throwing a flamethrower in there?
I feel like, from my experience the other day in one game using it, the flamethrower might be best if you like just camp an objective or hide and dare people to get close to you, because it just is going to die if you try and run the people.
Yeah, see, and it's also going to depend on the board we get at the store. Because, like, one board has a ton of cover, like, everywhere. So, like, I could use that cover to kind of sneak my Flamer ATRT up to his troops. But the other boards are moderately open. Like there's a lot of cover at the 2 short ends. But then, like, kind of the middle, there's a ton of open spaces, So I don't know. I think I might go, though, just because he's a lot heavier infantry, might go 2 rotary, 1 laser this time instead of 2 laser, 1 rotary.
My list is probably just going to be 4 troops, 2 ATRTs, 1 airspeeder, and Luke, because that's all I have. And I'm not sold on the ATRTs enough yet. They keep dying for me.
How about you, Evan?
Oh, that's a very good question. I think last time I mentioned that I was getting to play Star Wars RPG every single week, but we did have to give this past Monday a miss. We had a fair number of either sick or busy people, so that happens. We went 3 weeks in a row. That's pretty good. Hopefully we'll just jump right back on next time. What else? I assembled my Destiny cube.
Cool.
And cubes are meant to be carefully curated, picking out very specific cards that gel well with the other ones that you've hand-picked. But mine are pretty much made from all my extras, because I don't have, multiple copies of whole play sets. I just have more than enough to hit my card ratios that I laid out in my original article on it. But now I have it built. I just need to get sleeves and then start testing, because I think, there's no hard and fast good rules yet for how to go about doing a draft. I've put heroes or characters into the stack of cards, and somebody else had suggested having a separate hero draft, which is fine. I mean, you certainly could do that, but I don't know. I think my math should have it coming out pretty well. And then if you have the rival pack, then, you're fine anyways.
Oh, yeah. I haven't actually gotten that yet, because last time I played, it wasn't out yet. If there's ever, like, a draft event when I'm free, I'll have to pick that up.
I just wish that my stores that weren't an hour away, that were like 15 minutes away, would start having regular draft nights, because then I would totally be interested in that. But, alas, not yet. So I'm excited to give that a shot, see how it goes. Also been playing around with my magic cards, because Dominaria is coming out and I'm all excited, so that's been nicely distracting, in the wake of, not being in on the whole Legion thing. So yeah, that's me. Oh, and I guess I have to start prepping for next Monday then for RPG. That's that. That's me. Good times. But enough about me. Let's talk about Joe. Judge Joe, which sounds like a daytime
Judge Jody.
Yes, Judge Jody. Judge Joe Brown.
Isn't Jody like the mini to our Mickey? Jody cast. But when you said Judge, I was thinking more like Dredd.
Oh, okay.
Because, I mean, that is kind of the authority you wield as a judge.
Yes. And you are the law.
Yeah.
I will give you, I don't know what, but something cool if you yell that at a player.
I am.
That's against the law. I am the law.
Yeah, well, if you haven't figured it out, I am judging at Worlds for the final ever Star Wars The Card Game World Championship.
Yay. We have
not
a ringer.
that I don't enjoy the game a lot, but it wasn't my first choice. I did want to judge for Imperial Assault, which I've done in the past, and when I asked, they were like, no, we've got people, but we don't have anyone for the LCG yet. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that.
Aww. Make me cry.
So I've been doing my best to read all the rule books and FAQs and things like that and get games in when I can.
Get yourself
so
all
I
learned
can,
back up.
Right? Because I've never been, admittedly, super up on the rules, like the super little detailed things. But I'm also kind of counting on the players who wanted to come to the last ever Worlds are the kind of players who know this game so well they might not even need my services.
Yeah,
not that I'm going to try and be a slacker, because my biggest fear is, because from what I can tell, all of the LCG players who care enough to even want to go to Worlds anymore are salty as hell because their baby is going away and they feel that FFG doesn't care about them. And I don't want them to be like, oh, they cared so little they gave us this guy as a judge. He doesn't even know what he's doing.
Too late. Somebody heard you on here talking about how you don't know what you're doing. See, that's why I said, if some guy is going to get salty and start arguing with you about your ruling, that's why you just scream at him that you are the law.
I need a badge. Because last time when I was a judge, they gave me a little vest to wear that says judge on the back, but I think I need like a badge, like a tin star.
Might as well wear a cowboy hat while you're at it.
Oh, yeah,
that would be great. Actually, I can see you getting called over for a question, not knowing how to adjudicate it. Then you call Leo over. He tells him he's stupid, and he just flips their cards on the floor.
Well, see, I'm trying. Well, I don't know if I'm trying or doing. Depends on your philosophy to, get as versed in these rules as possible. It's not like I said, yeah, I'll do it, and then didn't give any second thought to it. I'm probably playing the game more frequently than I usually do.
Yeah, it wasn't like you were like, yeah, I'll do it, and then you're going to show up in Roseville and be like, what's the LCG, by the way?
This is Destiny, right? The card game?
The
card game Destiny, right?
Honestly, taking my word for it that I know how to play the game. It's not like they needed me to fill out a little questionnaire on, to prove I knew the rules. But I am looking forward to it, at the very least.
Yeah, and I know that there have been a few card text changes, but I don't think there's been nearly as many of those. There's been clarifications, but I don't think there's been too many changes made to too many cards for you to have memorized or to have to reference.
Well, no, and I'm obviously going to have the FAQ printed out and on hand, as well as the core rulebook.
Mm-hmm. Well,
in a binder.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't they kind of provide that stuff for you?
Depends. When I was judging for Imperial Assault, there was, I was a judge. I was not the marshal. Actually, they should really change judge to sheriff, because the marshal outranks the sheriff, and the marshal's already a term they use in these events. There's always a marshal who got final say, like if the player's like, judge, and I'm like, no, it's like this, and they're like, I don't believe you, and then I'm like, fine, talk to the marshal, and then I basically pass the buck up to management, and they're like, no, that's how it is, and what he says is the final word. The marshal in Imperial Assault Worlds was just one of the lead designers. The LCG doesn't have a lead designer these days, so I'm curious if there's going to be a marshal, or if I will be the judge, marshal, and executioner.
Judge, jury, and executioner. So, though, if you don't know, if you end up not knowing what's going on, actually, I feel you're going to be a better judge than one of the ones that we had the last time I was there. In 2016, I remember when, during all the the Swiss rounds, I don't think I heard a single judge call the whole time.
I think we called, for one match.
Yeah. I know me and you had a judge call during the 2v2 we were playing.
Oh, I think we had one on call, just stand by.
But that guy, he really did know nothing. I mean, every question you asked him, he just opened up the binder and started flipping through it.
Gosh.
So,
well, I mean, even that's better than somebody pretending like they know what's going on. I mean, I'd rather have somebody who is willing to look things up rather than pretending like they have all the answers.
But yeah, like I said, so you're probably going to be better than some out there.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Just want to make sure that these salty LCG players get a good send-off. Because I really like the game, but I'm also not, bitter about it.
That you just made me wonder, because they are going to have a final, North American at Gen Con, or National, whatever it is?
The North American Championships are going to be at Gen Con.
The Intercontinental Champion.
Yep.
It's not quite the World Champ. So I wonder if we're going to run into much the same thing. Sorry, we just don't have any judges.
Why don't you do
they'll
it?
just call over some magic guy. Actually, you know what? That's not a bad idea, as long as it doesn't conflict with the in-flight report.
Yeah.
It will.
Because, oh yeah, of course it will. X-Wing and Destiny and Legion will be, nicely arrayed on either side of in-flight.
Okay, LCG Imperial Assault player. The Imperial Assault player, I feel like the LCG community looks at the Imperial Assault community and they're like, you guys don't even know. Because the Imperial Assault community, every time there's a new Legion article that comes up, they all roll their eyes and they're like, another Legion article.
Yep. I'm with them now. I've thrown in.
Well,
I just want to be salty.
Happen to enjoy any piece of Star Wars gaming news that comes out. Even Armada, which I think
you just said, "Please like me, FFG." Notice me, senpai. So let's talk about your first experience as a judge, because I think some people might be wondering, what's that like? Do they just dump a pile of money on you and tell you to tell people they're wrong, or do they treat you like crap? How does that process go?
It was delightful. Honestly, the first time I saw or became a judge was because the Organized Play account tweeted, and they're like, we're looking for judges. Email this if you're interested. So I emailed it, and I'm like, I'm interested. And they're like, cool. What do you know? And I'm like, Imperial Assault. So then there's this, a lot of emailing and stuff. And they worked out my schedule, and you do get paid. It's not a whole lot, but it's not it feels like a volunteer gig, because you're like, I'll do it, and you raise my hand and you go do it, and you feel really helpful, but you get paid a little bit. What was extra cool was they have hotel rooms. So, in the hotel that, the overflow space is, I don't remember which one that is. The one that's a block from Fantasy Flight Center.
I think it's the Radisson, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's Radisson.
Yeah, so they, put me up in a hotel, and I was sharing a room with 3 other dudes.
It's barely even a block away. It's down a hill.
So I'm wondering, I think I might be sharing a room with less people this time around, which is exciting. I might actually have a bed to myself. See, it's not about I don't know, now it's starting to sound like some kind of noble sacrifice being a judge, but it was, I shared a bed with somebody for a week who I didn't know before that day, which is kind of not normal, but I did it because I wanted to be a judge and it was fun. And they gave me lunch too, and
so did you? Was it food from the
no? That was like
center there, or
no? It was like outside catering. It was like not Jimmy John's, or I don't know. It was different sandwiches each day, I think, and it was in like the staff room. So I'd sit there and eat my sandwich, try not to raise attention while listening to the employees chit chat. The only thing I remember that was useful, quote, information was that X-Wing players drink a lot of beer and Netrunner players drink a lot of coffee.
Huh. Interesting. Now I'm just trying to figure that out.
I don't know. Kind of makes sense to me. X-Wings, if I picture the average X-Wing player, I'm picturing a 41-year-old dad. That's the kind of guy who likes to drink beer. If I picture the average Netrunner player, I'm picturing like a 25-year-old computer science major. That's the kind of person who drinks a lot of coffee. Typecasting.
That's what we do here. So you were able to fly out, and as I recall, what they did pay you was enough to pay for your flight at least, right?
Mostly. Yeah, they obviously they didn't pay for my flight. I think most of the judges tend to be local, but I did do a lot of work. Like, it was pretty much like 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. was busy, helping with an event, or they were like, oh, can you help run Destiny demos? Because that was before Destiny was out, and things like that. So it was a lot of going from one thing to the next, being on your feet all day. I think this year I'm going to have slightly less of a busy schedule because the LCG is only 2 days, and as far as I know, they're not going to need me for anything besides that. I offered my services, but we'll see what happens. So I might actually have some free time to do some side events this year. Or make a... Okay. Maybe if I say it on air, it's either going to come back to bite me when it doesn't happen, or make it more likely to happen. I really, really want to make a Loopin Chewie World Championship video.
Well, I'm planning on packing mine.
Okay.
So you just have to remind me, like...
Yeah, and I'm going to bring my camera equipment. I plan on, since it's the first ever official JodoCast Loopin Chewie Worlds, it's going to be an invitational. So I'm going to be reaching out to people who I would like to participate. If you're going to be at Worlds, let us know, and you can probably get an exclusive, coveted invitation to Loopin Chewie. Just got to make sure we have a multiple of 3 for players, because I want to just make a video of it and share it with the world so they can laugh at how stupid we are for wanting to, or me at least, for wanting this so badly. But Loopin Chewie is really the best. I kind of want to make it like a centerpiece on some Legion terrain.
You could probably hold that tournament during the happy hour put on by Knights of Ren.
Possibly.
Yeah, but then we'd have to haul it to a bar and stuff.
Yeah. Might be easiest to do in like a hotel room or a side table, or you can get a tripod set up. And
so basically Joe's saying to give him a call if he would like an invite to his hotel room.
Just leave your number in the bathroom. He'll find it.
We'll loop some Chewies. I wonder if they'll come... Ooh. I hope they do like a redo version with Falcon and Chewbacca from Solo.
With the goggles?
Yeah,
Chewie.
And the different bandolier and the different Falcon. And then the tokens can have range troopers instead of stormtroopers.
Loopin Lando. He's got his cape flowing behind him.
I don't think I have good enough crafting skills to mod my Loopin Chewie into the Solo Falcon. Should we call it the Solo Falcon because it's the Falcon from the movie Solo, or the Lando Falcon because it's his Falcon?
I don't know. The toys are calling it the Kessel Run Falcon.
Okay.
But we can call it the Lando Falcon for you, Leo.
Seems like
or is it always the Lando Falcon?
It's always been the Lando Falcon.
That's true. Now I lost my train of thought thinking about Lando. Nice going. What were we saying? Oh, yeah. So last time you were a judge, you flew there, and you said they fed you, and you had a nifty vest, and...
High visibility, so people didn't run into me.
And you said last time you were a judge for Imperial Assault. Is there much adjudication that has to happen with Imperial Assault?
There was quite a bit, because a lot of times it's like, do I have line of sight to this guy, or am I allowed to melee through this particular dotted line, or what happens if I play this command card in this instance because the wording is kind of funky, or am I allowed to play 2 copies of the same command card, or I don't know. Yeah, there's quite a bit of things that pop up, all of which I was equipped to answer, except I don't honestly remember anymore, but I do remember there was one thing where I was like, and I went in and I ran to get Todd, who we interviewed like a year or 2 ago, and it stumped him as well, which made me feel good for not knowing it, because I'm like, okay, it stumped the lead designer, so I guess we're okay. Then he just kind of had to come up with a ruling on the spot. Apparently some situation that had never occurred before.
And you don't even remember what this momentous occasion was.
Nope.
This is the worst flashback ever.
The camera pans to the players at the table. Everything's just blurry.
Man, I keep getting distracted. There was noises just a moment ago.
Sorry, I was moving my microphone. Yes. That might have been.
The podcast is coming from inside the house.
That would be freaky. Podcast horror movie.
Leo and I are just in the other room.
I'm kind of surprised that there isn't one yet. I mean,
just been waiting for us to make it.
They had a horror movie about Skype. They can do whatever they want.
You gotta just have some really good pun for it, though.
Could this podcast be your last?
The night before podcast.
All right, Christian Bale Batman. Whatever you say.
That's narrator voice.
No, that was Christian Bale Batman voice.
This is Christian Bale Batman voice.
You need to be judging with that voice. That would be amazing.
Just have an official judge persona. I'll bring the cowboy hat, but I only wear it when I hear a judge call.
You put on the hat, like you start walking.
What seems to be
totally
the conundrum here, boys?
Just grab your belt buckle and you're like, what y'all doing?
Make sure you saunter over. Sauntering is important.
I have like a chaff of wheat sticking out of my mouth.
When they question you, just tell them
I'm the law around these parts.
And Leo will be standing by to do the good, the bad, and the ugly music. Acapella.
I don't know, when is the LCG stuff? Is it during any of the Destiny stuff?
It's Wednesday, Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Wednesday, Thursday, which means I get Friday to do side events. Or hang out with people. I think it's like all day Wednesday, most of the day Thursday, or evening Wednesday, all day Thursday, or I don't know. I'd have to check.
And I know I looked at the side event schedule when they first released it, but I don't recall if they still have 2v2 on there for LCG.
I don't know if they did.
Be interested to see if you wound up doing that one as well.
Maybe all Friday I'll just set up Loopin Chewie at a table with a big sign that says, I bet you can't beat me.
Loopin Chewie side event.
I'm the best at Loopin Chewie. Change my mind.
I'm going to be a Loopin Chewie pilot. Best in the galaxy.
Got kicked out of Loopin Chewie for having a mind of my own.
Everything you've heard about Loopin Chewie is true.
Hey kid, I'm putting together a Loopin Chewie contest. You win?
Been waiting my whole life for a chance like this.
Oh goodness.
Once you play Loopin Chewie, you're in for the rest of your life.
Yeah, what do you think? You want to play Loopin Chewie? What do you
what do you know?
That's yes.
I'm so glad we played this game.
Oh gosh. Good try. I'll actually be really surprised if they don't release that again. This seems like a much better opportunity to sell some Chewie Falcon stuff than even Force Awakens.
Yeah, but they already got the Sabak tie-in game. Sabak. I don't know.
The Han Solo card game?
Ooh,
Yeah.
maybe if that is on sale by Worlds, it's going to be cutting it close because it's the first week in May. The movie won't have been out yet. So I'm not sure when all these products are rolling out. I've seen some in Target already. Most of them I haven't seen.
Should check Amazon.
If it's out before Worlds, I'll bring it. And then we can also have the first ever World Sabak Championship. Or
Now you have to just do like a demo table like they did for Destiny.
they're going to be like, get that Hasbro out of here.
We don't play your kind here.
I need to get like a poker table, like some kind of semicircle with felt top. Get some of those boba bucks, those chips.
Yeah.
I really hope that game is like at least like somewhat enjoyable to play more than once.
It's got to be better than Topps Trump, right?
Literally
Top
any game
trumps.
is better than that. The game that thinks a Wampa is smarter than Admiral Akbar.
So are you going to just bring with you the bare essentials, like a deck of Destiny and a deck of LCG? You're not going to bother bringing Imperial Assault stuff with you? Or
I plan, if there's room, I might bring my own copy of Loopin Chewie, because if we get more than 3 players, it might be nice to have 2 rigs running at once. I plan on bringing my tripod for the camera to film these prestigious happenings. And then I hadn't really planned on bringing anything for Destiny. I might bring an LCG deck. I might just mooch off other people's if they have enough stuff for me to play with. I'm not sure.
do we know if any of our other comrades from last time are going to be joining you two?
I know that I believe our friend Kurt will be there. He's been on the show a few times. He's playing Imperial Assault. Our friend...
I think Jake is going to be there, too.
Yeah, Jake's going to be there. He's doing Imperial Assault. Wasn't there someone doing X-Wing or Destiny?
I'm...
Seth?
I think, is Raimi... Brian Ramsdell?
Yep, he's doing X-Wing or Destiny. I think Seth is doing Destiny. Our GM...
Well, Seth is just going. He's not actually
he didn't get in.
registered for any events, I don't think.
Oh, he can...
I don't think I don't think he ever intended on it. I think he would just
Seth, here's your official invite to the first ever Jodo Cast Loopin Chewie World Championship Extravaganza.
I bet we can make shirts of that. Loopin Chewie Championships 2018. Something else that I had wanted to ask both of you, because I think both of you have spent enough time dictating rules to other people and becoming intimately familiar with rules, especially most recently with Legion. Leo, I can't remember if you've ever been a judge for one of these, for any not just Worlds, but for any event. But
the closest I've ever come was I was like the backup judge for Destiny Store Championship, because like the TO was going to be playing in the so you know, whenever you have the TO playing, you need someone as backup also.
mm-hmm.
But other than that, no, not in any official capacity.
Oh, you just reminded me. I was the judge, marshal, and executioner for the LCG Store Championships last summer, as well as the 2 different Imperial Assault ones. But it's interesting that, like, when you've been playing, like, X-Wing forever, and then you get into Imperial Assault and Destiny and LCG and Legion, you start to, like, get a feel of how, like, the rules as intended should be. Because, like, a lot of times there's always the same, like, clarifications that need to be made, and you can kind of... Because the rules are, in Fantasy Flight games, tend to be kind of similar a lot of the time.
Yeah, like, I think when I interviewed Alex, like, he talked about that a little bit, how they have... Fantasy Flight kind of has their own house style, sort of.
Right. And when you also have been exposed to so many FAQs and erratas and things, all of that just kind of starts to sit in your brain, and, like, I don't know, I feel like I process the rules for these games better nowadays.
So what would you say your, I guess not experiences, but when you're a judge, you kind of are giving up playing, especially if you're like, well, I guess not in the example that Leo gave, where the TO was also playing, but I guess most especially in a situation like Worlds, you're giving up your seat at the table to be a judge for everyone, generally
Kinda.
speaking, right?
I mean, this is literally the only way I could attend because I need to get paid to be there. Otherwise, I can't afford to be there.
Right.
Like, it's not covering the whole cost of my trip, but like it's paying a little bit, which is the only reason I'm going. As far as not playing, I don't mind because then you get to walk around, you can chit chat with some people, and you get to watch the best players do their thing, and you get to see, throughout Swiss which lists are kind of filtering to the top, which players are playing what, and you typically get copies of like the participation prizes and things like that for your services, so you don't miss out on that either, which is nice if you're into those things. Like when I do Imperial Assault, I'm like, I'd rather just be the judge so I can get a copy of these prizes instead of having to earn it.
So you personally, you don't feel like you're missing a lot as a judge, as an adjudicator, rather than as a player?
No, and I mean, there's kind of a pressure to like not mess it up because if you say the wrong thing or make the wrong ruling, you could throw the course of a game, which could ruin someone's day or whatever, or cost somebody the world championship. But it feels less pressure to me because I'm not the one trying to climb my way to the top. I'm just here trying to make sure everyone else is playing properly and enjoying themselves. I think the hardest thing that ever came up when I was judging Imperial Assault was somebody accusing somebody else of stalling, which is like, what do you do? Because first of all, I have no way of knowing that this guy is stalling or not. So I literally just stood there and watched the rest of their game, and it just sorted itself out without saying anything. Just me standing there was enough, which was good because I didn't want to have to be like, bro, play faster. Because like, is he stalling or is he just like a slow player on purpose, or that's just how he is? I don't know. That's tough.
You were just that intimidating that he sped up.
Yeah, I was chewing my backy. I spat some of it onto the play table. Clink my spurs.
Well, if we ever put on a JodoCon and we have tournaments, that will be the official uniform of our sheriffs. Not judges, sheriffs.
Speaking of sheriffs, I should just bring Doomtown to Worlds and play that. I don't play that enough. It's so fun.
Which reminds me, did you... I can't remember if you were in on the conversation or not. I think someone mentioned to me recently that Doomtown uses the Fate system. Is that correct?
The RPG?
The RPG? Yeah.
I have no idea. I think it does, but I've never actually looked into the RPG. Just the card game. The RPG is called Deadlands, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It is.
Doomtown is just a card game that exists in the same universe, I think. It's a really cool IP, but it's not Star Wars, so maybe we should talk about that somewhere else. Our listeners are narrow-minded, Star Wars only ravenous beasts. If we get off topic too long, they'll wander off.
They'll hunt you down at Worlds.
That 5 seconds you were talking about a non-Star Wars game.
I don't know. It's never gotten so bad that we had to get a soundboard just so that we could have Stay on Target play. So I guess if you were going to suggest to someone that they try being a judge some night, you would say that it's worth it.
I think so. I mean, to me it is. I like
telling
that.
people
I mean, it is
what to do.
I guess. I don't think that's really... They're like, is this okay? And you're either like, yeah or no. And sometimes they're like, why? And then you have to, have the rules knowledge to back it up, which a lot of times the rules questions come down to weird timing things. So, because a lot of Fantasy Flight games, the longer they've been around, the more timing complications they have, and that's where the rules things get jumbled up. But
most especially the LCG. That game is all about timing and triggers.
Mm-hmm.
Has there ever been I guess there's been a few timing things with Destiny, but I guess most of that is just wording corrections, isn't it?
Yeah, for the most part, or points corrections and things like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm all out of questions for Joe. Leo, did you have anything you wanted to learn about the judging process or anything you thought would be interesting for listeners?
No, I'm gonna, I think, learn by participation. I'm gonna just sit down at like one of the tables next to the LCG tables and like keep calling for a judge. So it'll look like, or I'll learn, or actually between now and then I'm gonna learn how to throw my voice, so I can like make it sound like some of the players are calling for a judge, even though they're not.
You just do the whole hand over your mouth thing and talk off to the side. Judge Joe.
I'm curious how many players there will be, because LCG is typically the smallest of all the games at Worlds.
Yeah. It did sell out, though. They did sell out all their seats, so there is that.
We are small but mighty.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, at least like when on the last day to buy tickets there, I know like kind of halfway through the day they were tweeting Imperial Assault was the last game to sell out of them all.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, I guess I don't even know if Imperial Assault sold out. I didn't check for a final status update of them saying that Imperial Assault was all sold out too, but I assume it did.
That's my mission, is to get the card from Imperial Assault. Gotta stay up to date on those cards.
They'll be worth money someday, right?
No. I just had, for whatever reason, I managed to get all of them. I'm only missing one, and I think only like 6 copies of it have ever been given out, so it's not like a big deal.
Jeez, what one was that?
Plastic Spot Gloss Fen Cygnus was given out to like 2 people for being like good community ambassadors in the UK, and then I think they was given out to some people after they didn't get the prizes they were supposed to at a tournament, so when they mailed out their prizes they included that, something like that. And he's a completely garbage figure to play in Skirmish anyways, but like I need it because it exists, so maybe I'll try and schmooze the organized play people to find me a copy of that.
Well, especially since we gave him a pretty good backstory.
Oh yeah, I was like, we didn't give organized play a backstory.
You're right, we didn't give. Well, maybe that'll be on the next tale from FFG.
Yeah, we're just gonna be giving like their employees backstories.
Yes, that would be pretty awesome. All right, well, I am out of questions. I think Leo's out of questions. Leo probably just wants to go watch some Overwatch League.
No, the shock matches are over with already, so whatevs, man.
We need to start, I don't know, I tune out whenever you guys talk about competitive Overwatch, so we need to start our own competitive league of like original Battlefront 2 or I don't know, something to make me interested.
Terrace Kasai League?
Yes.
Great.
Oh man.
I just gotta find people.
Wait,
that
Leo,
that.
you said you have a PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
Can you bring that to Worlds? I'll bring my copy of Terrace Kasai and we can play that in like the hotel room.
I mean, I could. If we can, a lot of those hotel TVs nowadays, though they have the inputs turned off on them.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, the HDMI's are still usable most of the time, although a PS1's not going to have an HDMI.
We can play that at the house you're staying at.
Yeah, Alan's got to have something we can hook that thing into.
Because I'm sitting on Masters of Terrace Kasai, and it just sits there, and it's like, I know you want me.
I'll bet Alan has that game. I almost guarantee you he's got it.
Then we can have Terrace Kasai World Championship.
Consisting of 4 people?
Sure.
Be like me, Joe, Alan, and Seth.
Got to start somewhere.
Who is the Terrace Kasai master?
Right? Yeah, that is the title. It's not world champion. It's just the master of Terrace Kasai.
Yes, the singular.
The only problem is if we made a video of it, it'd have to be like off cam, which would be fine, I guess, because you just see us as well. But because I don't think any of us have a capture card to capture stuff off a TV.
I don't know. Things to think about, plans for the future. All right. I guess that's probably it when we start talking about Terrace Kasai. I think that is the signal that we're done.
We're out of real to talk about.
Yes,
or we've
exactly.
gotten to the real, and now we have to like go think
All right.
extra hard.
All right. Well, that's right. We're gonna just edit out this first hour of us talking. Now an hour of Terrace Kasai.
Oh, goodness.
You know, Terrace Kasai is canon.
All right.
Just
Huh?
the martial art of Terrace Kasai.
What of it?
It is canon.
Yes, it is.
The Praetorian guards, Snoke's guards, are like versed in it.
Yeah, well, it didn't help him.
Just a matter of time before Arden Lynn comes back into canon.
Screw her. Give me Jodo Chaos.
Well, he was in her game. That's both of their only video game appearances.
Oh, yeah.
So they go together. They are a pair, sir, for life. Okay, no, I think for real, that's probably it. So we did housekeeping at the front. Everyone, go to our Discord, check out Patreon, and follow the ongoing adventures of Leo and Joe, because they are far more interesting than I am. See, I told you. They make weird noises out of nowhere. Who knows why? I don't. You can find out
you
and
do
tell
too.
me.
I remember in the first 2 Lego Star Wars videos we made, you made very strange noises out of nowhere. You can even go watch the one with the pod race in it. It's in the pod race.
Okay, be sure to join us in May at Worlds, where we're also going to have our Weird Noise Off World Championships to see who really is the one who makes the best weird noises.
Well, the rules of that competition have already been laid in stone, and it's you have to sneak them in throughout the course of a regular day. You can't just sit there and go, all right, I'm going to make a noise, you make a noise. No, you gotta sneak them in and see if anybody, gives you the side eye. You got to see how far you can push it without someone just going, what the...
So it's basically like you're playing the Meow game.
Yeah, pretty much. Except with noises.